At T-Mobile, our critical mission is providing unparalleled 5G coverage for when connectivity is mission critical. Introducing T-Priority, America's best 5G network experience for first responders, even in times of congestion. More capacity, faster speeds, better coverage. T-Priority from T-Mobile, built for tomorrow's emergencies, ready today. Discover more at t-priority.com.
For qualifying organizations on eligible rate plans, coverage not available in some areas and may be impacted by emergencies.
Every Pokemon Episode Ever podcast is now on YouTube. Go on YouTube and search Every Pokemon Episode Ever podcast and click that subscribe button to never miss an episode. Welcome back, everybody, to another fantastic episode of the Every Pokemon Episode Ever podcast. I am one of your hosts this week, Wrestling Chris G, and on the other line with me is the man that's always stealing all my shininess. It's good old Dougie Fresh. Dougie, my man, how you doing?
I wouldn't know what to do with it.
Well, what do you do with it?
I don't know, but I feel like you missed like an open goal for my nickname this week, and I'm kind of upset about it.
Really?
Yeah.
What, the cute and fuzzy one?
No, like, you know how much of a neat freak I am.
You know, that didn't even cross my mind at all.
I'm watching this, and I said I wasn't even watching Pokemon at the time, and they kind of nailed me here.
So you're a Minccino.
I must be.
That's the Pokemon that you are. You found your
a lot of people get cool Pokemon like Pikachu or Charmander. I get Minccino.
At least you got a cool name.
Yeah, that's something. That's half of it anyway.
So Doug, how are you doing today? Today is behind the curtain, our last recording day before we do our movie. So how does it feel?
It feels like a Wednesday in November.
It is getting chilly out, isn't it?
It's not bad. I was a little concerned today, but I think by virtue of the sun being out when it was and when I go for my walk, I think I hit the sweet spot.
You're going to laugh when I tell you this Saturday and Sunday, bro, it's supposed to be 76 degrees this weekend. Okay,
I thought I heard that, but I could have sworn it was I was walking through or flipping channels. I would laugh if it was, because my mom's talking about bringing out the fucking flannel sheets and the long pants and shit. I'm sitting here in shorts.
Yeah, it's supposed to warm up this weekend, which is good because I've kind of slacked a little bit, just being busy here out at the house. But I need to take my pool down for the winter. So.
Oh, damn, yeah.
I got to get out there. I have everything. I just haven't gone out there and roped it off yet. So I got to get on out there this Saturday, take the steps out. And as soon as I take the steps out, I will cover that sumbitch and it's done. So.
We've got 58 and 64 out here and 65 on Monday out here.
Oh, really?
So not as warm, but still,
That's a big difference. Let me see. I'm going to check it right now because that is a huge difference from what I was told by my wife. And you are right. 58 and 65. So I'm going to be freezing my ass off taking my damn.
Oh, 58 ain't nothing.
58 is.
58's beautiful. 58's beautiful.
You know what? I can't even say my joke on this podcast with with how sensitive certain ears are. So I'm gonna keep my joke to myself this time. It's the same joke I told you when I dropped off your candy. I mean, not your candy, your popcorn yesterday.
Oh well,
I can't say that joke.
I wouldn't mind, but yeah, I don't want you getting comments at 12:30 in the morning.
So, especially around the holiday, I really don't need people tuning off before we do our movie. So, but outside of that, how are you doing over there, Doug?
I'm good. Just to kind of give everybody a time frame of kind of where we are when we're recording this, and this will make sense. Okay, when is this going out?
This is going out 2 weeks before Christmas, so I can actually have it up right here. This will be going out December 6th, if I have my math right.
Okay, so when are the Kanto episodes that we recorded on Monday going out?
Those are going out on December 10th and the 17th.
So it's going out after this.
Yes.
Okay, so
we're doing today's episode, but we've already recorded this upcoming Friday's episode, and then we're about to do next week's episode, and then we've already recorded that following Kanto episode for that week as well. So we're doing a little bit of back and forth here.
All right, so when you get to that episode of Kanto, pay no attention to what we said about the Braves and Astros World Series, because the Braves went out there last night as we're recording and basically told us to fuck off and won game 6 7-0 and ended the season. So all of our talk about they should have ended it in their last home game is a bunch of bunk. So yeah, that's kind of the time frame that we're in. Trying to figure out what else has happened. Well, because we went on about
we went on and on about it. So yeah, when you're listening to that, people, we're already in the future in the black and white episodes, which should be the way it is because it's future Pokemon episodes as well. Right, Doug?
Yeah, I mean, that's the way I'm kind of looking at it.
So, but yeah, let's see, on my end, let's see, we're only 2 days shy. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right on my end. Had a lot of freaking traveling to do yesterday to go and drop off my son's taffy apples and popcorn from his school fundraiser. So that was fun. Didn't get home until late at night.
What's late?
We got home probably, I'd say 9 or 9:30ish. Already past the kids.
Oh, that's late enough. Late enough on a Tuesday.
I did get the new John Moxley book, so I'm pretty excited to actually start that. I was actually too tired last night to actually read it, so I'm probably gonna start diving into that today. It's time to get on into some Pokemon, Doug.
Yeah. So, yeah.
All right. So today's episode is Minccino Neat and Tidy, which premiered in Japan December 16th, 2010, and here in the States, April 30th, 2011. And of course, we're going to go with the American date. And mine happened in 2004, and I know damn well yours happened way sooner than that, Doug. So what happened on your date today?
So on April 30th, in the year of our Lord 1798, 89, I can't read, George Washington is inaugurated as the first president of the United States.
Oh, okay.
And you might say April. Yeah, it is, obviously things have been
Moved
around and, whatnot. But yeah, obviously presidential inauguration, big thing, first one. In some of the stuff that I've read and some of the podcasts I've listened to, I kind of got the impression that this wasn't something that was high on Washington's, pardon me, priority list. Becoming president. But obviously, he was a war hero, and people trusted him, and steady authoritative voice, and cherry tree and whatnot.
Well, damn. Okay.
So
Thank you for that, Doug.
yeah,
I kind of got tossed up with mine, and I'm not going to go fully into it, but I'm going to kind of blindside you a little bit, Doug. I watch Ellen, and I also watch the movie Mean Girls. Yeah, call me names. I like that movie. So, two things happened on this day. 1997, Ellen DeGeneres publicly declared that she is gay, and yay, and soared her career. And in 2004, Lindsay Lohan's arguably last huge movie, as huge as it was, Mean Girls, premiered or was released on this day. So yeah, both of these events happen, and I do love me some Mean Girls. I watch it with my wife at least once or twice a year. Still funny, and all the lines in the movie are freaking hilarious. So, Doug.
I'm trying to figure out, because obviously I know Ellen coming out as gay was part of her show, her sitcom at the time. And I'm trying to find it, and I can't effing find it for some reason.
Really? You would think that clip would kind of be ready.
Well, I'm not looking for the clip because I ain't trying to deal with no goddamn copyright strike. I'm just trying to find the goddamn. I believe it was. I believe the show was like Ellen. It wasn't. I mean, her show, I believe, was like autobiographical.
Oh yeah. I couldn't tell you. I all I can say is I do watch her show. I didn't catch up onto her show until more of recent years, and circumstances like COVID and all that type of stuff, and the world shutting down. She's kind of on daytime TV all the time, along with Dr. Phil, but Dr. Phil is more my wife's forte. So, yeah. So, all right, everybody. You ready to get on into this week's episode, Dougie?
And when we get into it, we will. I mean, it'll kind of explain itself as we go as to why we kind of felt confident to just kind of bullshit.
Just a little bit. I mean, it's a filler episode, with us thinking that we're getting a gym battle next week, but
yeah,
boy was I fooled.
Nothing worse than being teased with a gym battle and then getting it pulled out from under you.
They were in a fucking museum. Okay, we'll get into that next week. But all right, let's go ahead and make this episode funny, Doug. So, We start this week's episode the same way we've started the last 3 or 4 episodes. Our heroes are on their way to Nat Green City, Doug.
Yeah. I bet they are.
and they're looking for the site of Ash's next gym battle. But from here, I actually jumped up a little bit. So Bianca, who starts this show off by running over towards Ash, Silent, and Iris. She's actually one of your rivals in the black and white game. She's from the video game.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense as we get deeper into this episode. Okay. It's a lot more sense.
You're like, oh, my eyes are now wide open.
Yeah, I kind of like this episode a little more now.
Yes. So
I was kind of lukewarm on it until you said so. I was like, this kind of sucked. I mean, it still does kind of suck, but.
So, yeah, she starts running towards Ash, and she trips, and she's clumsy. And I have to say she's clumsy in the game, too, because in the game she's running into you. She doesn't. I mean, she's very smart, very, very smart. She's just a klutz. She will run into you. She's always in a hurry. She always wants to be the first somewhere in the black and white game. I never did complete the black and white game, so I don't know if she ended up calming her 2 down a little bit. I still got to finish it. But that is her forte. So at the beginning of this, when she trips on the rock and she tumbles into our heroes, we jump into the title sequence, the theme song, and then we get the title card. And then straight from there, we go into Bianca saying that she's been looking for Ash. Silent and Asher, they've started a fire because they got knocked into the water when Bianca ran into them.
Silent just standing there with no goddamn shirt on for no damn reason. Ash is in his boxers.
Yeah, what happened to it? Well, you see, Silent's smart. He carries more than one pair of pants. Ash just wears the same thing on a weekly basis. But
we're lucky if he changes underwear, for goodness sakes.
I know. So Bianca's apologizing to our trio and they're kind of like, you were calling out to us. What's going on? And she's like, my apologies. I was actually here to talk to Ash. And then she whips out her handy dandy watch and clicks a button. And there's Professor Juniper, who states that Bianca has a present for Ash because she forgot to give it to him. Because Ash is like, she's like, oh, Ash, how are you doing out there? He's like, I'm great. I even already have one badge. Oh, it's funny that you mentioned that because Bianca has a badge case that I forgot to give you. And Doug, you want to take it?
Well, she actually kind of like starts it at a point where like Ash's heart kind of jumps up in his throat because she's like, yeah, about that badge. And you're thinking, is she going to say it's invalid because of X, Y, or Z? Like he wasn't officially registered at the time of the battle or something? And Ash is like, huh? And then she's like, I forgot to give you the case. And I think his butthole like unclenched. And then because she didn't have to say it like that.
No, she did.
She's like, oh, speaking of your badge, Bianca has something for you. And then if Bianca was a little more organized,
she would have had it out and ready to go at the time that they were looking for, or she was looking for him. But
exactly.
But she didn't. And it's funny you say unorganized because it's at this point where she's digging through her bag and come to find out She must be digging through this bag for at least an hour because the fire that they had is now gone. And she pulls out the badge booklet and gives it over to Ash, and it's all dusty and dirty and just nasty. Doug?
Yeah, and and as I stated at the beginning of this episode 3 hours ago, that kind of gave me a little bit of the heebie-jeebies, because how dirty is that bag? Like, because that was full of dust.
Yeah, just
for
nasty.
no damn reason. I was like, have a little bit of pride in your shit, lady.
So yeah, she hands it to Ash, and it's at this point where Ash is, well, he puts his badge into the booklet, and he's getting ready to take the booklet, and a Minccino just hops up, grabs the booklet, and just starts taking off away from our heroes. And from it taking off from the heroes, they never do catch up to this thing right away. Doug?
This is Ash's fault, you know.
Why is it Ash's fault?
Because he had to sit there and go through the whole rigmarole of, oh boy, I've got a badge container. And he had to fucking show it off. And if he'd have just said, okay, cool, and taken his badge out and plopped it in his, there you go, and plopped it in there in its designated space and then put it in his pocket, we could have been moving on. But instead, he had to make a whole big damn show about it. It's his own fault.
Yeah. And I mean, they finally do end up catching up to it, and they see that it's a Minccino, and the Minccino is over there. It's cleaning up the badge book. And from here, I'm sorry, everyone. I'm hitting the mute button as much as I can, but if you hear me clear my throat, I'm still getting over my cold. So
leaking.
And no, not anymore. Just freaking cough, and freaking when I talk a lot for this podcast, it freaking yeah. So it's
so
over.
they're standing. They're kind of in stakeout mode, and Ash is like, "Well, I gotta get that badge back." And what's her name? God damn it,
Bianca.
Bianca's like, well, won't they just give you a replacement? Ash is so indignant at that comment, he falls off the log, and he goes, that badge has memories, and that's the one I care about. Like, dude, calm down. It's a piece of metal. Like,
well, okay, but we have to remember, he's 10 years old, and he thinks that the original is always going to be so much better than a duplicate. Which,
then why did he spend all that time in the Safari Zone catching 75 processes?
Because he didn't mean to. He doesn't know how to aim, and he should never try to play baseball ever. So once they catch up to this Minccino, Bianca finally like perks up, and she's like, you know what? This Minccino is the best Pokemon for me. Cough, cough. No, it's not. I mean, at least Minccino's organized.
Well, no, but they make a joke about that at the end, but we'll get to that.
But she sends out her Pignite, which is the evolved.
I love that name. I love that name.
You do.
Fantastic.
Why do you like it so much, Doug?
Because sometimes the puns on the Pokemon names just hit, and Pignite just hit.
So
now I'm curious as to what the third evolution is, because if it's anything, Pignite's the bar. I don't know if it can hit above it.
Do you want me to?
I want to either find out on my own or find out in the show.
I was about to say, I can tell you what the third one is. Okay, so Pignite is Bianca's Pokemon, and we find out that it's the evolved form of Tepig. And she
Right.
goes in and says, I'm going to go and battle this Minccino and go and capture it because it's the perfect Pokemon for me. So, Doug, you want to get on into this battle?
Okay, so she stands there, and and my thing with Ash is his reliance on Dexter is so much of a reflex. Like the thing comes out and says Pignite, and Ash goes, "What's that?" Like, and I understand it's a kid's show, right? And I understand that he's 10, but context clues are a thing.
Yes.
It kind of looks like Tepig, doesn't it? It says Pignite. What does Tepig say? Tepig's that's whatever. I don't need to be giving myself a damn headache. Over. Pardon me, it frustrated me. So she sends Tepig out, God damn it, Pignite out to use Tackle, and that Minccino just is dodging it, and
it's quick.
And she tells it to use Charge. And he produces this big cloud of dust, and he comes bursting out. He's a literal fireball, and he crashes. But then we find out that Minccino's scurrying up a tree, and Bianca and Pignite are doing the same, like stomping the dirt. It's almost cute.
They're the same. Well, but what was it? Silent goes, she may not look like it, but she is a fierce battler. And he's saying this as she's stomping her foot. And as she's stomping her foot, Pignite is stomping his foot or its foot. I don't know if it's no, we do find out it's a boy. So Pignite is just stomping his foot as well. It just has a big tantrum just like she does. And Minccino just hurries up and scurries into a tree at this point. And it's at this point that Minccino is about to get away, but Minccino climbed the tree so it can spit out the badge book that it's holding inside of its mouth. And freaking Pignite stomping. He's like, pig. And freaking Minccino just is all the way up in the tree. It curls its ears down. And then it uses some move. I'm not sure what the move. Oh, it's Hyper Voice.
Hyper Voice.
And it stuns Pignite. It jumps down onto Pignite's back and then uses Tickle. Which I didn't even know was a move.
I didn't know it was a move. I thought it was just fucking around. I liked the setup for the move, like with Minccino folding its own ears down so it can't be affected. And I can understand to some respects that maybe it doesn't hit humans in the same way. But Axu was straight up on Iris's shoulder and didn't even flinch.
Because it doesn't care. Let's be real. It doesn't care.
That's just lazy.
So it's at this point that once Pignite is being tickled, Bianca has to call back Pignite because Pignite cannot win this battle just being tickled. But she calls back and she's like, man, that Minccino is so cute, but it's so tough, but I've got to catch it. And Ash is like, he's like, I got to get my badge back. And obviously you can't do it. So I'm going to do it myself. Pikachu, go. and sorry.
Everybody's favorite Oshawott pops out and basically looks at Pikachu and says, okay, buddy, you can take this break. I'm going to get this one. And
Oshawott is so conceited. It's freaking hilarious. And freaking Bianca is stunned because Oshawott brought itself out of its Pokeball without being called out. She's like, oh, it came out all by itself. Look at that.
And Iris is like, the only Pokemon that does that for Ash is that Oshawott. And she goes, that's adorable. And Pikachu goes back to Ash. What does Ash say? Because Ash says something. he oh yeah, Pikachu's like, what do I do? And Ash is like, you might as well just leave it to Oshawott. I mean, he's out there.
And Pikachu's just looking at us like, really?
Like, we didn't have to deal with this shit in Kanto.
But
and then this is where the episode started to kind of annoy me a little bit, because so Oshawott tried to use tackle, and obviously we've established that Minccino is quick.
yes.
That's fine. And then Oshawott was preparing to do his next move, and Bianca just jumps in and goes, "Use Hydro Pump." I said, "Use it." And Ash had to be like, Oshawott doesn't know Hydro Pump, A, and B, who the fuck do you think you are trying to tell my Pokemon?
This is my Pokemon. This ain't your
Did she
Pokemon.
do this in the game?
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's obnoxious like this in the game. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Full blown.
Yeah.
It would probably kind of annoy you.
Well, see, but it's a video game, so I could, in theory, turn it off.
You could. But would you?
Wouldn't get no, because I'd say, fuck it, I got this far.
So Asha was sitting there turning its head because it's like, I don't know Hydro Pump. Oh my God. How embarrassing. And freaking Oshawott then takes off its shell. And what is this move that it's doing?
Razor Shell.
Razor Shell. It's using Razor Shell. And it spent all this time not looking at Minccino, that Minccino has gotten away and climbed into a tree. So freaking Oshawott is sitting here going, well, what am I supposed to do now? And freaking as he's looking back at Ash, Minccino comes down like a boss, tickles the mess out of Oshawott, and then takes its tail and just slaps the mess out of it like whack, whack. And Oshawott gets turned around and is like, Oshawott, and then just faints.
Yeah, I mean, he took a 2-piece and a biscuit. And Silent had a food pun. He's like, tickle with the double slap. That's a rich and full flavored attack. I hated it. And then Oshawott just had to keep being funny because he walked over to Pikachu and he said, "Oh, I got it warmed up. You can go ahead and take it from here."
And just pushes Pikachu. Pikachu's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" But everyone's talking too much and taking their sweet time. That Minccino got away again. It went and grabbed the badge book from the tree and started running away again, and it got away. And Ash looks right over at Bianca and was like, "It wouldn't have gotten away if you wouldn't have tried to give this great advice." And she's like, "Yeah, but you see, I wanted to catch Minccino. But I thought that your Pokemon would know Hydro Pump." She didn't say that, but she basically rubbed it in Ash's face for having such a low-level Oshawott.
And then Ash gets indignant because he's like, "Look, we should have been at Nacrene City a while ago." And I'm sitting there going, "Yeah, but you were fucking around with kindergarten kids in a trash fort." And Silent was trying to kind of take the edge off the situation. He's like, "Well, Nacrene City's just over the mountain." And Ash goes, "Well, that's a big mountain." I was like, "Bitch."
But
frustrating.
For real. So it's at this point now that our heroes start walking towards Nacrene City.
And then the episode gets interesting.
Yes, they start walking towards Nacrene City. We don't know what's going on there, and then Team Rocket comes up into the frame. Doug, this is your favorite part of the show.
Episode. Right, so the episode starts, and Team Rocket looks like they're in like kind of like the town square kind of thing, and they're overlooking, and they've got like this it's a tablet basically, and they pull it up, and they got like all the files, and it's a map of the city, and because they know they've got to break into the museum, and passive aggressive computer. Hold on a second, and your battery's low. You might want to charge. No, I'm gonna ride it until the wheels fall off. So they're trying to lock down where the museum is. So they're navigating the map and they find it. And what is and then they're like, Jesse's like, next we need to figure out our escape route. So I mean, they are dotting their I's and crossing their T's, and they are just on fucking top of things.
Yep.
And a lady in a fancy hat walks by, and when she finally crosses through the frame, Team Rocket is gone from the
like
rooftop,
007.
Fucking incredible.
I know. And then we get a Minccino, who's that Pokemon. And when we come back, we are back with our heroes. And it's at this point that they're thinking up a plan as to how to get this Minccino to come out and give Ash his badge book back. I mean, in my head, it would just be easier for them to go to Nacrene City and have Professor Juniper just mail out another one. Right?
Yes.
And
yes,
Silent is with him, who has a gym where they produce those gym badges, and he can easily.
Wait a minute.
What's up?
Silent came from a gym, right?
Yes.
The gym, obviously the only gym that Ash won a badge at. Wouldn't they have those badge containers at the gym?
Probably for a price.
Well, that's true.
I mean, they got to make money too.
Yeah, it's true. That's fair. Because the people are just walking in and beating them for free. I mean, but they're getting them food at that place. I was gonna say they were getting food at that place, so they were making their money regardless.
Yes. So we come back and they're like, okay, well, let's go ahead and try to find some shiny stuff and place it down somewhere so Minccino can find it, and when it finds it, it will have the badge book, and we can go ahead and take it. And Silent, and they're like, do you have anything shiny? And Silent takes out a spoon, and freaking Bianca, no wonder her shit's so damn dirty, takes the spoon, rubs it right into the dirt, and just takes off. Doug?
Poor Silent has a heart attack, boy.
I know. His favorite spoon.
He was so proud of how clean and shiny that spoon was, and he's just having a heart attack. And then they rig up like a Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner kind of trap, and they're sitting there. They spent a lot of this episode crouched down. I'll tell you that much. And they're waiting, and wouldn't you know it, the Minccino comes walking up. And it sees how dirty the spoon is, and it's, pardon me, and it goes around and it's sniffing it, and it goes in,
and then they catch it.
They catch it because it starts the brush motion, and Bianca pulls the rope, and it's under the cloche. And she's like, I caught it. And then, because it has legs and it can still move, it just starts walking with the cloche on its back like a metal turtle. And, and Bianca is just mega dejected.
And there goes Minccino taking off again, and it now has another shiny little device. So it takes off with the spoon and the little, what do you call that thing?
That's a cloche.
Cloche, and a shiny cloche, and it takes off running. It seems like we probably jump forward like another 20 minutes, and they find Minccino in a tree with all of the shiny equipment, and it's dusting off the spoon with its tail because it can't stand seeing the spoon dirty.
Same.
And Ash and Ash jumps out and he's like, "I'm gonna get my shit back," and he sends Snivy out to go and battle Minccino, and Minccino just hops out of the tree again like a boss in the middle of water, and
The look. I had it paused perfectly on the moment as soon as Snivy came out, and the look on Minccino's face was like, oh, so we're doing this again.
it's like, okay, I can level up. You guys are giving me a lot of experience today.
You get down from this tree real quick and sort some shit out.
So once it hops out, we get a funny line between Silent Iris and Bianca. And Bianca's looking over there and is like, man, I wonder if he can battle as good as my Pignite. And Silent's like, what other Pokemon do you have besides Pignite? And she's like, only Pignite. And he's like, you're kidding, right?
They Silent and Iris do the traditional anime faint kind of thing. That's got to be called something, right?
It must. We're just gonna call it the anime fate. Maybe we can look it up and we can have a name for it next week.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, because I mean I've said it like 100 times throughout the course of doing the show, and I feel like it's got somebody screaming it at me. It's called this, you pleb.
So, but she also says that her number one attack is Flame Wheel, and that's the main attack that she uses while she's been out on her journey. They're like, how long have you been out on your journey? And he's like, I've done a lot of trading at home, but my journey is brand new. And they're like,
unlike Ash in the Kanto episodes that, according to your timeline, we haven't done yet, but we've done. She embraces training, whereas Ash will find any excuse not to train.
Yeah, it's funny the timeline that we're on right now. Like, people are listening to us go through all these filler episodes leading up to the Indigo Plateau, yet we're just starting the journey on Black and White. I wonder how far we'll be once we finally do finish the Indigo Plateau.
Right.
So you want to go into this next scene, Doug?
So we kind of find out that Bianca's a little bit of a daddy's girl and
a noob.
But she still has 2 badges to Ash's 1, which they make sure to beat you over the head with. And Ash, we're back to the battle, and Ash tells Snivy to use Attract, and both Siren and Iris think that this is a smart move because it'll immobilize Minccino for a little bit. Well, little did we know that Minccino can just basically walk away from it.
Yeah. And not only did it walk away from it, but Minccino knows Attract as well. That seems like to be a popular move out here in Unova.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the like the Kanto equivalent. I haven't quite been able to put my finger on one standard move.
No, but we've seen it quite a bit out here in Unova, and this is when we find out that Minccino is a girl in this episode. So it's at this point where Ash then takes Pikachu and says, Pikachu, we're going to do this battle the proper way now. I'm going to stop skipping you over. And Ash goes, Pikachu, use your Iron Tail. And Pikachu gears up. It starts running, gets its iron tail ready. It's all ironed up, and whack! And freaking Minccino dodged it by using its dodge attack, and Pikachu goes up to go and use quick attack. Minccino is running away, and freaking he tells Pikachu, Iron Tail again, and freaking wouldn't you know it, but Minccino's double slap stopped the Iron Tail.
Just a big sonic boom in midair, and the three people that are sitting there watching, they're just dumbstruck. And we see Minccino getting ready for is it Hyper Voice?
Hyper Voice, yes.
Pikachu is like standing its ground. You know, I mean, you're in the water, so you're also dealing with a little bit of wave. But then Pikachu was so distracted by the Hyper Voice, it missed the fact that Minccino was able to jump behind it, and Minccino was able to start using Tickle, and Pikachu's fighting it, and it ended up wearing out Minccino.
And freaking, this is when Bianca starts yapping her mouth again. Pikachu, use Zap Cannon. And Ash is like, Pikachu can't use Zap Cannon. And she's like, oh. And he's like, Pikachu, use Thunderbolt. Basically telling Bianca, just shut up.
It's not your fault. And let's just say that Pikachu could use Zap Cannon. It wouldn't listen.
No.
Or at least it shouldn't. I mean, Pikachu might, because it's a personable, it tries not to have beef with people, but
it's not Mr. Mime.
Right.
Mr. Mime is like, no, I listen to one person and one person only. You tell me to do something, you could just fuck off. And freaking Pikachu used Thunderbolt while Minccino was huffing and puffing. It zaps Minccino right away. And it's from here where Bianca comes in and says, I'm going to tag myself in. And then Minccino's wobbling back and forth, and she's looking for a Pokeball and can't find it in her messy bag.
Minccino uses this delay in action to get its wits back about it and starts to run away. But in all the luck in the world, Bianca finally pulls out the Pokeball, and it's filthy. And Minccino is drawn to that filthy Pokeball like a magnet, and it climbs up Bianca and starts kind of, giving it the old dust with the tail, triggers the Pokeball, and Minccino basically caught himself.
Yes. Like how come Minccino couldn't get out of that Pokeball?
I was thinking the same thing. Like, it put itself in there.
It could have easily taken itself out, but I guess Minccino's not as strong as it looks.
And then Ash had he didn't say anything, but the look on his face, I was like, dude, how many times has a Pokemon literally jumped into your arm? I was like, shut up.
But Bianca has fulfilled her dream of the day and caught this and caught this Minccino, and she does her little pose with the lights and everything flashing around it. Ash goes up and climbs the tree to retrieve everything back, and as he's climbing the tree, the branch that he climbs up to breaks, and he falls onto his feet and then gets hit in the head.
Which had to hurt.
I know. That had to hurt crazy.
He fell in a crouch, like, and then he gets bonked on the head by the daggum cloche, and then we do see the spoon fall down. I mean, for those of you that were paying attention.
Yes. So we go straight from that to Ash and everyone going over to the Pokemon Center to go and heal all of their Pokemon. And This Nurse Joy has a nice blue cross on her hat for the Unova region, and she also took care of Ash's egg, by the way. First time we saw this egg this whole episode.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that egg until she pulled it out from the... So where was it?
I'm guessing in Ash's backpack, maybe?
No, he's not that dumb.
I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. So,
I wasn't paying enough attention to the one after this to look for it. Huh.
But next, we go straight into Bianca saying, let's go into the backyard of this Pokemon Center and go and have a practice battle.
What is it with the Unova region and practice battles? Like, let the battles count for something, for goodness sake.
Hey, it's just like Ash and Gary. Even though Gary always beats Ash until that one time.
Right.
So it's at this time that we get another food line from Silent. Silent's like, this is going to be a very tasteful battle. And Pikachu is all happy. Bianca sends out Pig Knight. Pig Knight is ready to go, and she's like, "Okay, a fire type. Well, in that case, I'll have to use Pikachu, right?" And
freaking Bianca was like, "Well, Ash didn't pick to use Pikachu. Bianca basically not bullied, but basically told him to use Pikachu."
Yeah. So, and Pikachu's stunned because Pikachu thought it was getting a break just to sit on the bench for a second. And Ash is like, all right, well, let's get this show on the roll, Pikachu. Let's go. And Pikachu goes out and starts this battle. And Ash sends it out to go and do takedown. Doug, you want to go over the battle?
Yeah, so Pikachu comes out to take down Pig Knight. Pig Knight is not given an attack, just starts charging. Heat crash.
Flame well.
Heat crash.
Heat crash, there you go.
And Pikachu goes flying. And then we get which one's this? This one's not. This attack's not identified.
Flame charge.
I see. And we get a big crash, and we get smoke and dirt, and there's a light. And
Pikachu goes in to use Bolt Tackle, and they just boom.
And it's just it's like the third or fourth big collision in this episode, and
Nurse Joy's over in the corner having a heart attack. Like, I just healed these Pokemon.
Yeah, I just let these Pokemon go. What are we trying to do here? And then when the dust settles, Pikachu lands on its feet, and we see that Pig Knight has the out cold circles, and Silent basically acts as the referee and says Pig Knight is no longer able to battle. Ash and Pikachu are the winners.
Yes. And she calls back Pig Knight, and this is when, she doesn't even use Minccino. It's basically the end of the episode.
Yeah, and that was a thing. Iris was kind of shocked at the fact that Bianca didn't use Minccino. I never plugged in my computer. It's going to die here in a second. I got so distracted. And then Bianca goes up to Ash and says, the next time we meet, my Pokemon are going to be stronger. And I'm sitting there going, and hopefully you have more than two. And she's like, good luck in that Green City. And she runs off like a daggum hummingbird.
Ash looks down at his badge book, and he's like, soon I'm going to have 2 badges.
He's so happy to say that. I was like, you dweeb.
And then that was the ending line from Ash in this episode. And that's it.
That's it.
So we get the good old to be continued logo, and that was the end of this episode. So what did you think of this episode, Doug, on your Dougometer?
Well, once again, I had more fun reviewing it than I did watching it. It was a little better than I had thought, when I sat down here. I feel bad. I've kind of been stuck in like 3 range.
If that's where we are, that's where we are, bro.
I mean, I really wanted to try to give it like a 3.5, but I just can't justify it, so I'm going to have to stick at 3.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give it about I'm going to give it about a 2.5. And that, because, we didn't really progress that much. We got introduced to a new character, which probably got it up to the 2 mark. But outside of that, Ash didn't catch this Pokemon. We're not really seeing this Minccino in next week's episode by any chance. So it's just, this episode was there.
It happened. It was 22 minutes.
Yes.
It happened.
All right. I do have 2 more celebration packs that I'm going to sit here and open. Doug, right hand or left hand?
Right hand.
Right hand. All right. We're going to go right hand and find out what we got in this first one. And try not to ruin these cards as I'm taking it out. There we go. All right. First one. I have a Ho-Oh, a Xerneas. Ooh. Okay. I got a Mew EX. This is nice. I'm gonna have to send you a picture of this one, Doug. This one's like shiny on the ridges.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a nice card. Dun, dun, dun. And I have a Zamazenta. There you go. Zamazenta V, I guess I should say. So, but yeah, this Mew EX is a really nice. Okay, that's a win. All right, so that was the first pack. All right, let's check the second one. I'm going to send you a picture of this. I should turn the flash on just so you can't see the photo. All right. I have a Reshiram, a Cosmog. This looks like a full art old school Pikachu. Okay. I got 2 major hits, Doug. Whatever M Rayquaza EX is, it says Mega. I'm going to guess this is a good card. It has Japanese writing underneath Rayquaza. It's full shiny. Like, I'm scared to touch this with my fingers. Yeah, I'm going to send you a picture of both of these. For any of those that want to see these, go and follow us on the good old Instagram at every Pokemon episode, and you'll be able to see these in all of its glory. And other than that, I think we're good to go, Doug. We got one more episode that we got to get ready to record. So, do you have anything to tell our fine audience before we jump on out of here?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, say goodbye, Doug.
Goodbye, Doug.
And this is Wrestling Chris G telling all of you we might have a gym battle next week. Probably not, but we might. Because they finally reached Nacrene City. It's called A Night in the Nacrene City Museum. So the name can probably give it away for you. Have a good night, everybody.